Hey Meredith, I'm Burton Edwards, and this is my friend I told you about, Miss Alaska Presley. Now, I'm not going to tell you how old she is, but I will tell you before I let her speak that she's an incredible lady, and this is part of her life's work. Miss Alaska, you want to tell her how old you are?
Well, you don't give me any choice.
I know, that's sort of bad, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm about 90, almost 90, in
She's
September.
90 years old, and she gets off and on the four-wheelers and in and out of the truck and jumps into buildings better than I do. Tell them that
I can outrun him too.
she can outrun me. I know that. I'm scared that that's true. Tell them about RB coming to you and your husband and when this thing started, this whole ghost town idea.
Well, I guess to begin with, we had a motel in a cafeteria here in Maggie, and he came, somebody recommended he come to the Presleys, and he came. We liked him, so we decided that we'd do what we could to help him when we found out what his intent was. So actually, Hubert, my husband, he helped build the mountain. And
What year was that?
in 1960.
1960.
Uh-huh.
And her husband owned Presley's campground, which was the biggest campground in the valley. Still is the biggest and nicest campground in the valley. But, so was you one of the regional investors?
Yes, I helped sell the debenture bonds that built it. Actually, R.B. Coburn came to Maggie Valley with $35,000. We parlayed it into $1 million, and that's what it cost to build a ghost town to begin with. Not many people know that.
Back in 1960.
60, yeah.
And it's what is it? It's a country, it's a western theme park with the cowboys and the saloon and the can-can girls and rides for the kids and all that stuff. And it's on top of a mile-high mountain, on top of a rock cliff. And so they started building it in 1960.
Yeah.
And when did they open?
Well, they opened in 61.
Wow.
Well, actually, it was 62 the season.
I was born in 64.
Yeah.
I was born in 1964, wow. And now, Mr. RB sold it. Do you know when he sold it? How many years ago did RB sell it?
Yes, he sold it to National Service Industries, and they, out of Atlanta, it was a subsidiary to the National Linen Service people. And they kept it, I think, about 6 or 7 years, and then
What year was that? Do you remember?
in the late 60s.
When did he sell it, though?
Oh, he kept it 7 years.
He kept it 7 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
And then after they run it a while, and then they was letting it go downhill, so he came back. He came back.
I forgot that. Okay.
Yeah, he came back and put it back together. In fact, I called him and told him I felt like he owed it to Haywood County, because the manager at that time was not staying on the golf course all the time. But anyway, he came back and and put it back together. And later on, his son that he had built it for actually he had an accident, a boating accident in Palm Beach, Florida. And he was incapacitated for about a year, but RB then, that was who he had inherited. Then he got very unhappy with it and resold it.
So
Closed it really that time.
he closed it, and the town relied on ghost town. That's how this little town, Maggie Valley, made it. And our little town is about 2 miles long and has, 30 motels.
About that.
And several restaurants. And but the zoo was a good thing, and the stomping ground was good, but none of them would have made it at all without Ghost Town. Well, in the 80s, was it about 90s? He closed it, and then it was bought again and sold, and bought again, and had bank problems, and we thought the town was going to die. Well, Miss Alaska, who's been involved with it since day one, has now bought it back.
I bought it off the block when it came up for sale, and I've been putting it together about a year and a half now.
So at 80, I'm not going to say, but in her 80s, she took on this crazy, wonderful, amazing task of putting this mountain back in shape and making it work again. But she's had so many problems with the state, and for example, they let them spend $700,000 on the incline, and then their excuse was it don't have no brakes. So me and a friend of mine designed some brakes and had an engineer look at it, and he liked it. Miss Alaska sent it to Raleigh. Then they told her they condemned that tramway that went all the way up the mountain. It was like a train that went up and down the mountain to haul people, and they said it can never be used. Well, they have a chairlift, and to run the chairlift, which last year they let her run it without an emergency road to get people off because it has backup generators and everything else. But this year they're making her put a road to the top of the mountain. That's what I told you on the telephone about. It's a road that's never been built before. It's only 200 foot wide, and it's a mile high up a rock cliff. And tell them that, if I understand it right, you've got to have that road before they'll let you
Open the chairlift, really.
and you have to have the chairlift.
Yeah, I can't, they won't give me a permit to open it up, but I'm working on it now. And actually in the beginning, I felt like, when I bought it, I felt like that Haywood County and Maggie Valley needed it so bad, because I know what it was to have a heavy mortgage hanging over your head and wishing a car to pull in the years before. And I've been here in the heyday and was lucky, really. So then I decided that Haywood County needed it, and I planned to put it together and get it going back again.
It's the most amazing project that anybody could take on at any age. And for Miss Alaska to be doing this by herself, no partners, by herself, is just something that's on my heart. And I really wish she could get more help from the government. But like now, you know, they've told her she had to have this road, and that's the labor department. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then our local erosion is causing problems to hold up, and I thought the town would step in and make a special exception, and it's like nobody will step out on a limb to help anybody anymore.
Yeah,
And
yeah, but I'll still make it. I still plan on making it, and then I plan on the Resurrection City also, that will be there hopefully in another year or within the year.
and that's a Christian retreat story. It'll be wonderful on top of this mountain. And Miss Alaska, that's one of the reasons too that I want to see. I want to see you make it anyhow. But the fact you're going to tell the Jesus story means more to me than anything.
Well, just think of the people that'll help and the lives that'll change if and when I get it put over. Because I'm determined to do it, and so far I've remodeled the whole mountain, replumbed it, rebarred it, putting city water on top, and actually it would have been cheaper to build it from scratch than to pick up the pieces and clean it up.
Yeah, but all the memories, and I can say this, when my father's place, the stomping ground, every year there were people coming down there in their 60s that remembered coming here as a little kid and came back, and it was sad. They came back to bring their children and grandchildren to see Ghost Town that they seen when they were little, and it was closed. But because of Miss Alaska, it's going to be open this year, hopefully by July 4th, and she's going to make this work, and God's going to bless her, and I hope you guys can help. We're going to have to cut the interview short because, Miss Alaska, you want me to go finish this road?
I'm trying.
We've got to finish it, right?
It's got to go.
Well, and
yeah, but with God's help, we'll make it. All I do is pray God show me the way, and certainly we want it to be safe in every respect for people. But there's something great here to be had, and it's in the making now.
yes, it is. And you want me to you want me to go to work right now?
Absolutely.
We've got to finish it by in a couple of days. All right. Well, thanks so much. And the camera lady is my wife, Caroline, and I'll introduce you to her later. God bless you. That was perfect, Miss Alaska.